Good point. And hey, welcome once again to the NFT morning show. We've been live for multiple minutes, but a portion of our audience was not aware. Shout out to them. We love you all. Someone said in the comments, he's lost without PO. That's organic pixel. Whatever, dude. Shout out to our fellow stage members today. I'm going to go in reverse here. Spencer, who I shared a potential name of our upcoming PFP project yesterday with, called us out for being racist haters. So I appreciate that, Spencer, and describing that. He's an investor among investors. And when I say the investors in that way, I'm adding it with like multiple O's, and that's like kind of a Web3 sort of thing. Spencer, basically you can't out trade Spencer unless you get like one good trade like Easy did this morning. We got Signal. The author of the daily newsletter, as Pio would say, but I've been like kind of like, hey, can we like recategorize her? Can we reposition her in the market? That's what I've been wondering about. She's a YouTube celebrity. Our YouTube audience seems to both love her and write offensive comments in there as well. But that's part of YouTube. That kind of just happens sometimes, and we all have to deal with it. But I stood up for her the other day, just letting her know. And I also wanted to say she does also write the daily newsletter. So if you're not subscribed, I've never said this before. A lot of people have not heard this out of my mouth. You're going to want to head over to thenifty.com, THENIFTY.com. I actually think we may have, I don't even want to allude to anything anymore. I'm tired of teasing things. No more teasing. We're just going to hit you right in the face, smack dab in the face when something happens. I'm just going to say it. That's the end of it. Either you sign up or you don't. That's up to you. Bunny hopes that I'm in a better mood today is the description that he wrote. Pio would have entertained this comment. We're going to move on to the next speaker.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, I wish Pio was here.
He's not here. He's not even on stage. And so I was going to also say, Bunny, I'm not interested in discussing anything else from that. Kix. Kix is here today. He's live coming in from an exotic location. Is it South Carolina or Georgia or North Carolina?
It's one of those three states.
There we go. So we're not going to dox his location, but what's the address? Okay, he doesn't want to tell us. He's being a little silent on that one. All right. And we have Easy Eats Bodega, a rising celebrity in the Solana space. He just the industry just found out about him. Easy, congratulations on becoming a host of a Twitter space. Welcome to the crypto ecosystem and the crypto world. One day, we believe that you're going to make it. How are you doing today? And is your echo gone?
I made a big trade, so I'm very excited today. Today's a good day.
As Easy knows, his title within the Nifty organization is day trader. So that's what we hired him for, is to make great trades that profits his bags, and that's what we're interested in. Hey, maybe next time, Easy, you let me co-invest, okay? Maybe
I gave you the play at 0.4.
Yeah, I know you did.
I said, hey, these are probably gonna cook, and they did. I tried.
I want to dive into the daily news and the weather report and other things, but I was going to discuss some other items, but maybe those items that I wanted to discuss, those stories, were actually in the Daily Digest and the weather report. So maybe we dive into that first. Kix is on it today. Kix, I'm gonna play the wrong intro. This is breaking news. It's not breaking news, but it is a weather report. And yesterday, I'll tell you, it was snowing here in downtown Brooklyn. Up in my apartment, you see, I stared down at all the peasants across the land of New York from the towers that I'm in multiple towers, apparently. That's how it came out. And yesterday it was snowing. Today it's sunny, and it feels similar to the temperature of Ethereum right now. Kix, how's the weather over in your neck of the woods?
It's looking phenomenal over here. We got some sunshine as well. And as you said, it seems like the sun is shining on the world economy, especially in crypto and NFTs. Today is Thursday, the 26th of January. OpenSea coming in solid at $15 million. We have Apes at 72, Mutants 15.4, Punks continue to be a stable coin at 65.8, Azuki 14.1, Moonbirds 8, Doodle 7.4, Pudgy's 5.9. We got CloneX at 5.2 ETH. Some big news over the last 24 hours. Porsche 911 knocked off Sewer Pass from the #1 spot on OpenSea after cutting the supply from 7K down to 2.3K. Sales have been as high as 4.2 ETH, and the floor settled this morning at 2.6 ETH. That's typical NFT land. Everybody FUD something and then it 4Xs. 6529 memes card number 58 was artist Dirty Robot. That mints today. Some free airdrops were given to the 1 out of 1 holders of Dirty Robot and to 250 meme card holders. Those are randomly selected. This card's expected to do quite well and be one of the most highly sought after ones. Open editions continue to cook. Checks by Jack Butcher and Proceed with Caution both had big pumps overnight. Artists with strong burn mechanics have been seeing some big wins this month. We got the floor on checks at 0.5. Proceed with Caution at 0.6. That is a cook. Last but not least, Little Pudgies are officially cross-chain after the team announced that the Pengus will be able to cross over to Polygon, Arbitrum, and BNB. News is bullish for the Little Pudgies ecosystem as they look to expand their audience to other chains. Little Pudgies up at 0.63. Looking over at crypto quickly, Bitcoin 23K, ETH 1600, Sol 24, Ape cooking above $6. Lots and lots of coins pumping over the last 30 days. Back to you in the studio.
Dude, the missing the ape thing is just jump off a bridge. Am I right? You know, that's the kind of feeling that I'm having about that, man. The infinite regret machine is here. I realized I didn't shout out to any of the audience members. That's because we're not about community here. Just kidding. There was one tweet. We'll dive into the newsletter in a second with some of the other news stories, but I did want to shout out a couple people. One that really stood out to me, Dolce Boy 99 is the Twitter username, but then the actual name is Dolce Boy 103. He sounds confused, and so is his apps. His 3 app picks for which would you keep on your phone was OpenSea, MetaMask, and Plenty of Fish. Because I guess that's the dating app of choice. You must be 72 years old. But appreciate that. You're going to get hacked, but at least you'll do it with the beautiful, either, I don't know, you know, I don't know what gender or non-gender or whatever you're into, but hopefully you find a lover on it.
I'm surprised
I got
that
news for you.
Yeah. Was that Pio? I don't understand what the hell that was. That was ridiculous. I got news for you. So we got Bunny says Candy Crush. Wait, sorry, Kix, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I thought it was funny that you're bummed about missing the ape trade. And I'm just like looking at some of these other tokens. Like, remember Aptos? You remember the guy with like the long flowy hair?
I don't remember the guy with the long flowy hair, but I do remember Easy trading Aptos.
Yeah, it did like a 6x in like 3
Still
weeks.
got Aptos back.
Oh my God.
Easy is echoing, and it's all on his fault. Just unplug your phone, dude.
Wrong one.
Unplug the phone.
Okay. It's unplugged. I still have Aptos bags. A lot of them somehow.
Okay, and throw your phone literally in another room. That's the best way to take care of that. Other NFT, apps that people said. Low Swayze says Twitter, Gmail, and IPTV. I'm not familiar with the IPTV one. That's an interesting one. Just Blue also said Twitter, MetaMask, and Coinbase. Maybe that was the person that I'd seen already. DigiArt or Digi says Webull, Twitter, and Amazon Music based on my battery stats. Wow, people using Amazon Music. It is included with Prime. I didn't realize so many people were using it. That's interesting. Test
So
tube.
Nick, IPTV is like black market cable.
Okay. Well, well then there you go.
You get so many channels.
Well,
that's what Google said. I've never used it, but it says that you get a lot of channels
hey,
for like $19.99.
Thanks for Googling that for us. Test tube Tab says phone, clock, and compass. I already said you don't need to include the default apps, but he did it anyways.
You use the compass?
What? Some people use the compass. Dude, how else would you get around the city? Look at Easy.
Map?
Easy. Dude, what is wrong with you? No, you use a compass, dude. Come on now. Everybody uses a compass. Listen to Easy being so foolish. You're silly, Easy. Coom Nels says, I'd keep at least whichever one I can use to look at my, oh my God, he's pumping a project. I'm not even saying it. Sean Smith says, I'd keep Pocket Cast, Carrot app, and the camera. Dude, this is killing me. Everyone's going with the default apps. Louis Iruela, camera, Twitter, alarm clock.
Nick, what would you keep?
This is a good question. Well,
nobody ever asks you the question of the day.
I know. And
I'm here to ask you the question, Nick. What would you keep?
Well, there's a couple of things that are important to me, Easy. Now, I'm not including the defaults, which are like phone, camera. I'm just assuming that those are allowed, and messages. I'm assuming are allowed. I would go with I'm gonna go with Twitter. Well, I gotta use the compass to get around the city, so that's the other one. So I'm gonna go with Twitter, compass, and Spotify. So I'm gonna have Spotify on there. So that's how it goes on. Now that said, the calendar you kind of need. So like that is that included? If that's included, then we're good to go. So we're gonna go with Twitter, compass, and Spotify. That's it for that. Let's dive into some of the other news that was out today. In today's Daily Digest by the one and only Signal, Signal, the star of YouTube, as we like to call her, wrote this. Kevin Rose, and I think you may have mentioned this as well, Kicks, lost $2 million worth of NFTs after signing a malicious contract that allowed the hacker to transfer many valuable tokens. As the commenters in response to my tweet, which said MetaMask needs to improve their product, view it, the NFT space views it as, well, good on him. He deserves it. That's kind of the attitude that the NFT space has it for being an idiot. That's how people treat it in crypto land. Nice and non-toxic. Doodles released official details on its next project, Doodles 2. We discussed that yesterday and went into some of the details on it. Mixture of bullish and bearish, but the price of Doodles has been up. And they've been hitting a couple of announcements recently. So that's the market seems to like it, despite what the commenters in our audience say. The founders of Gemini-owned marketplace Nifty Gateway, I was calling that as our show was fading out, but I don't know if my words came through. They resigned. So they're stepping down as Gemini Earn is running into some issues. It's also interesting because there was another conversation about Nifty Gateway where they were discussing the fact there were some like transfer issues. I'm blanking on what it is. We can dive into that in a minute. Pudgy Penguin signed a partnership with Layer Zero. Well, that was what we discussed on the man. This is good. So we're getting the information across multiple things. Magic Eden's co-founder shared data, including that AMM Coral Cube had the second highest volume and transaction count over the. What? Why would? Anyways, that's what the Magic Eden co-founder and/or any analytics app would have told you. As a result of the 50% rise in Solana's USD value in the last 2 days, daily NFT volume has halved from 320K to 160K Sol. That's an issue for Solana, it sounds like, but not for well,
in fairness, if Ethereum's price tripled in 3 weeks, our volume in Ethereum would probably be down too.
Yep,
I'm
that's
sure the
true.
USD volume's still pretty good.
Dookie Dash exploited. I saw this one yesterday. Saigar, renowned Web3 software engineer, exploited Dookie Dash after 5 days of trying. Renowned Web3 software engineer, world renowned Saigar or Yigar. Did I mess this up? I don't know. He managed to go through every obstacle in the game. I saw that video. It was pretty interesting. Impressive what he accomplished, but he didn't tell everyone how he was going to do it. And then the Seize the Meebs card 2 drops today. Seize the Meebs has been pumping. Easy's would love to brag to you all about how that trade panned out. That's it for today's news. Remember, you're going to want to sign up at thenifty.com. And also, shout out to our sponsor today. And they're our sponsor every day because they're one of our favorite sponsors, So Rare. Look, if you're into fantasy sports and or into getting free NFTs, which I'm into getting free NFTs, although I don't check in every day. I need to, but I know that Pio's on it like white on rice. Is that a messed up saying? I don't know if that's because there's also brown rice as well. So I don't know. It feels like kind of messed up. But anyways, the So Rare, you should sign up and compete against Pio, who claims that no one can beat him. But he's saying that while he's in 30th place in our league. So
I'm in 8th place in one of the leagues, like 8th place.
And that's in a league of 8 people. So you have strong potential of succeeding against Pio. You can sign up at thenifty.com/sorare, SORARE. If you're not competing, what are you doing? You know, it sounds like you need a compass on your phone to find your way. A lot of people fade the compass like easy, but I don't, because that compass brought us directionally to So Rare, which you can sign up for at thenifty.com/sorare. If you're into fantasy sports, if you're into free NFTs, you should get on there. They have incredible, sorry, I said incredible, but the word in my mind was impressive. They have impressive daily active user stats. The number of people entering these competitions on a daily basis are impressive. So anyways, hop on over there. Let's dive into some of the stories of the day, shall we? Biggest one I'm interested in talking with people here. First up is the hack of Kevin Rose. I don't know what there is to say about this. I'm just interested whether
Seaport, because that's what it looks like. The hack
Seaport is the contract, OpenSea's contract. That was their
okay.
And someone exploited a.
It was a bundled listing. I guess,
bundled listing. They had figured out a hack for it, and he fell for it. Now I don't know if he had a ledger.
Buying from your vault though. You know what I mean? Like that was like my concern.
Well, I don't know if it was from his vault. That's the first question that one would have is, was it from his vault? Because it wasn't all of his NFTs. Like the CryptoPunk didn't transfer.
It was the CryptoPunk one because it's not on.
He had his
contract.
His zombie ape in there.
Yeah, but they're saying the CryptoPunk was not moved because it can't be sold on OpenSea, so it's not actually under the Seaport contract. Whereas autoglyphs and Chromie Squiggles are, and that's what led to it. The other thing that was crazy was people like went looking and they saw that he had permissions and like acceptances dating over a year on the vault.
Yeah, that makes sense though, Easy, because before Seaport, everybody so go back to 2021, people were trading off hot wallets, cold wallets. Everybody was just pressing yes on OpenSea. And I highly suggest that everybody does this. You go onto revoke.cash, you look at all your important wallets, and you're going to most likely see that you haven't revoked old OpenSea contracts, and you need to do that like ASAP, so they're not just sitting there and then you'll be able to be exploited. So that's why they would have been there. It's not something that many people do, but it's good that now it's been talked about.
Yeah, revoke that cash is a valuable tool. I used it in after I got phished. I fell for one, but as the commenters in my tweet yesterday suggest, I deserve it, and so does anyone else who was hacked because you were just being a dumb idiot. They don't realize that humans make errors. They don't make errors, but that's also because the majority of crypto Twitter doesn't even leave their couch. Spencer, you got your hand raised. How's it going?
Hey Nick. One thing that I think is like important to talk about here is, the thing about NFTs that's different from say coins is like it's very hard to have an NFT wallet where you like don't interact with any contract, because NFTs like you gotta connect them to do stuff or claim the airdrop or whatever, and like this adds a lot of risk. And so like the biggest takeaway is like I've seen a lot of people have this concept of like, oh, there's like a vault wallet and a hot wallet, and like I can just keep like as many NFTs as I want in the vault wallet. Like definitely do not do that, right? Like if you have multiple high dollar NFTs, each of them should be in its own wallet to limit the downside to a compromise. Like this is the big takeaway. If you're looking at this and saying, how could this happen to me? Just don't keep all of your high dollar NFTs in one wallet is the biggest thing to like. Don't do that tomorrow. Do that today. Separate them. Keep them as spread out as you can. It really just limits your downside risk to stuff like this.
Yeah, there's multiple security precautions that you should use. I think a lot of us that have been observing people getting hacked recently, the number of hacks just period has gone up. Like no matter how, like at least in my Twitter timeline analysis, but I know multiple people that have been hacked recently in private conversations that I've had on calls that have told me about hacks that they've had where they've had their wallet drained, where they had their identity stolen, where they fell for some scam that not all of it's even crypto, but there's just more and more people are getting sort of phished. I don't know if that's reflective of the fact that we're all aging rapidly, or if it's indicative of the fact that there's just more attacks going on and they're getting smarter day by day. My general thought at this point was like, how do I really protect it extensively? Bored Ape Yacht Club, really like in my case, where some of my most valuable assets are my Bored Apes, mutants, that sort of thing. They've introduced, they use delegate.cash, and then there's another one that they just introduced as well. I'm blanking on the name of.
Worm.xyz.
Exactly, worm.xyz. And so you can essentially direct your wallet, your hot wallet, to point it to the vault. You do have to sign a transaction to do that, but it at least means that you don't need to log into things with that. I think we're going to see more of this. There was, I think Jimmy.eth was the one that had proposed this, which I really liked as well, which was about, and I think is a solid path towards this. Even Vitalik likes talking about ENS domains as well, which just leads me to believe that like ENS could be like a core infrastructure of Ethereum. And there should essentially be like, you should have one root domain that you point your identity to. And then you have these subdomains that are associated with it. So you could be like vault. In my case, nftnick.eth, and it points to there. But because my hot wallet has nftnick.eth or whatever it is, they know just by its nature of me connecting that's owned by me. And that sort of system is one that I personally like. But regardless, at this point in time, you have a hot wallet, which is what you're using all the time, which is what a lot of us use just for convenience purposes. It's a bad practice, but all of us know that we're taking risk with it. You can have another wallet, which if you want your super hot wallet, as I'd call it, is essentially your minting wallet. You set up another wallet that you would transfer money into and only mint from that wallet and transfer everything out of that to either your hot wallet, your vault, or whatever, is the way that I would introduce it. And then additionally, you need a vault that just has seed phrase protection, is not connected to anything, and is only essentially like written down either on a piece of paper or like on one of those like metal phrases, not on your computer, not anywhere. Because essentially it has exposure. Anyways, we don't need to keep talking about that thing. But shout out if you feel like you have questions about security. Don't get those answers from Twitter because they'll shame the hell out of you and tell you that you're a complete jerk. We want to post more stuff about the security side of things just so that more people are.
Yeah, and I feel like most people that like talk shit and have a ledger don't even know like how a ledger works or like what it protects them against. So a lot of the people that are talking crap about other people getting hacked probably don't even know that like a ledger doesn't protect you from signing a transaction and losing everything.
Yeah, I mean, a ledger is like, honestly, well,
it only prevents you from computer like key logging exploits and stuff like that on your computer. Really, it's not protecting you from like signing a transaction. Well,
and there's also another thing that we saw in the case of NFT God, where he took his seed phrase. He took his seed phrase from Ledger and put that into MetaMask, which is like he got really shamed for that. People are like, oh man, you're a dumb idiot for that. But I honestly think like if you're just getting familiar with this stuff, the user experience is garbage, no matter how you slice it. And that's something that's bad. I see Node's hand raised as well. Node, what's going on?
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a shout out to our guy, K Dean. He mentioned another service called, I think it's Join Fire. And I started using it like as soon as he mentioned it. And it tells you like exactly what you're signing. Like, I don't know how or why MetaMask didn't do this, but it literally says, okay, this NFT is going to leave your wallet and you've authorized this much money, to be transferred or whatever. And so like they also, I saw the Join Fire like Twitter account showed like, this is what Kevin Rose would have seen if he had this extra extension, and it would have said, hey, you're about to transfer about 50 NFTs right now, which would have been hopefully would have saved him. So it's really cool. I mean, it's a shame that MetaMask hasn't already implemented this, but it's like I now have an extension to help me understand my other extension.
Yeah,
but it's pretty cool.
So their Twitter account is _Join Fire. I think it is, or did I get a? No, I'm not scammed. Why would you start with an underscore? That just looks sketchy. My biggest concern is, so I installed another Chrome extension that I have, which is similar to Fire. I can look up whatever the name of this extension was, but basically it does something very similar. And a lot of people were like, check out those Chrome extensions. There's 2 of them. My biggest concern is like downloading a Chrome extension to use with another Chrome extension, as you said, Node, is just one of the most like sketchy feelings in the world. And you're like, someone's gonna like end up exploiting this in terms of downloading Chrome extensions that essentially exploit my MetaMask in some way. The other thing that I was gonna say is a lot of people in the comment replies to that tweet were essentially saying like, well, MetaMask has warnings, but the warning that they use, it's hilarious. When they show a screenshot of it, they, with themselves in Photoshop, take a yellow box and highlight it over the black text that MetaMask has as a quote warning. Is just not a good UX, no matter how you slice it. And if you're out there shaming people and telling them that MetaMask, is good enough and that it's on people to do it, you just don't get it. And more importantly, it's not helping you gain value from your assets if the user experience in crypto sucks. It just isn't. So like, it's in all of our best interests that like there is a safe and secure way to interact with crypto and you're not dealing with all these risks on a regular basis.
It's just going to take time, but most people will use like, Chase custodial NFT services like in a couple of years. You know what I mean? They'll just be like, I got my Bored Ape, I throw it into Chase. I got to go into a local branch and like, show them my ID if I want to transfer it out.
I actually to be completely honest, I like that. Like that actually is.
Use it. I love Chase. Great bank.
Like I would totally use, because like what do you do with your like ledger, your paper ledger? You're supposed to either like use a bank vault or like split the seed phrase across multiple different people. Dude, the snow froze.
Yeah, what I did is I took my seed phrase, one word each, and then I wrapped it inside peanut butter and fed it to local squirrels. So if I ever need my seed phrase, there's like 12 squirrels in the neighborhood that I have to track down.
I like that. And hopefully they're still alive then. And you're going to be yelling out their names. Do they all respond when you call their name?
Yeah, I trained them with a song. So I just kind of start whistling this song and they all show up.
It's like Mary Poppins or not Mary Poppins, some
Pied Piper.
Yeah, something like that. Kicks is a kid's movie living in real life. Signal's got her hand raised, Spencer and Benjamin, and then we can move on to the next subject. Signal, what's going on?
Yeah, no, I was going to say on the security thing, which kind of links to what Pudgies are doing at the moment. We can talk about what Pudgies are doing, but this is part of security. Is that part of the user experience? They were saying in their article, it's just not good enough on Ethereum in order to onboard everyone. So it's almost like Pudgies and a lot of these projects are now thinking, okay, how can we just circumvent the bad UX? Because the bad UX experience, it's not going to move at the pace that we want to move. And everybody knows that, in the NFT space, projects and the speed is probably one of the fastest industries you can be in. So they're just jumping to these other chains where it's like, okay, if you want to buy an NFT, you just buy that with your credit card. And then potentially, how that custodially works will be different on Binance than it would be on Polygon than it would be on Arbitrum. So I think it's interesting that we're now seeing lots of projects making this move very quickly to other chains for many different reasons, but security and onboarding will be definitely in their top 3 priorities.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, that's I'm talking with other wallets as well. Here was the thing, the last comment that I have on this, because I want to get to Spencer and what Ben was saying, was I was at the NFT Now event, I remember, in Miami. Shout out to them. They always throw great events, and the Gateway event that they had hosted this evening. And I got introduced to someone from MetaMask by, I remember it was AJT from who had introduced. And I'm chatting with this MetaMask guy. I think in hindsight, AJT probably would have wished that he hadn't introduced me to the MetaMask person, because what promptly occurred was like a debate basically with the MetaMask person. This guy was probably just like, yo, it's not my fault, man. Like, but basically I got in a conversation and I was talking about like, hey, when are y'all like planning on implementing better security measures within your product? And he was like, well, at MetaMask, our focus is on developers and helping out developers to build better apps within the ecosystem. And we're really focused on building a development platform. And I was like, that's nice, but you all have the largest consumer, Ethereum wallet at a minimum, if not the largest consumer wallet in terms of user adoption. So like, it felt like a false, like some, I don't know, just like an excuse. It was misleading, I thought. And so we got into a little bit of a debate over that sort of scenario. And I'm like, so what I guess he's implying is saying, yeah, go use Infura. And then there's another thing that they're rolling out, which is like built-in apps within MetaMask that's coming out. I don't know, man. I'm not bullish on MetaMask as a whole at this moment in time, and I'm more bullish on other wallets like Phantom and some of these other products that are coming out. And I'm sure that there's going to be many more. But it was interesting to hear them make that statement. And it feels like they're hiding behind like an excuse to just not evolve their product to a way where it's truly thinking about the customer first, because their biggest customers are not maybe their parent company Consensus biggest customer is other startups and enterprises, but MetaMask's primary user is consumers. Spencer, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, I mean, my hand raised is from a little bit while ago, but I kind of agree with the sentiment though, that like you definitely don't want to be installing random Chrome extensions, because that is like by far the highest risk point of like downloaded apps. They can read basically all of your internet activity. And so I would just be very, very cautious. Like I have a rule that I don't have other Chrome extensions installed on the computer that I trade on. And I think that there's like small stuff like this that are important to discuss. Also, like of note, having a ledger is important, but like none of the hacks we've seen or exploits have been, because they're not really hacks, have been anything that would have been stopped by having a ledger. And so I think people should just not have this false sense of security. Like when you set up your ledger, the number one most important thing to do, you can set up like 20 wallets within one ledger. That is like a huge thing you like absolutely need to do. You don't need multiple ledgers. You don't even need multiple seed phrases. But having multiple wallets still has a lot of protection, because then you can't sign one transaction that brings multiple items.
I completely agree.
Ledger's like having a security system at your house, and then people are getting hacked because someone knocks on their door at midnight, and they just open the door and they're like, "Come on in."
I mean, pretty much. That's a good analogy there. Ben, you had your hand raised as well. What's up? And also, I agree with what you were saying. Ben, you had posted a tweet about this, about which there's another Chrome extension. That's the one that I use, is Pocket Universe. I don't use Fire, but to each their own. But you had your hand raised. What's going on?
Yeah, Nick, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So I've actually used both Fire and Pocket Universe, and while they're both good, I think the UI for Pocket Universe is cleaner, and Fire I got hit with rate limits, so if you're making a lot of moves, it actually like stops working on you in the middle of it. So I would just recommend, personally, I use Pocket Universe. I think it's been great. It shows you like, it simulates the transaction beforehand, and it doesn't let you go to it until you view the simulation and click continue. So I think it adds like a little bit extra of a safeguard. And Spencer made a great point about like when you're installing these extensions, you have to be really careful. Don't just go on Google and start downloading random extensions that promise you something. I typically wait to see if other people are using it, see if there's security audits and people in the space who look into the contracts and code in a way that I'm not familiar with. I try to lean on their expertise. And then another thing, if you want to get like really, really secure, especially with vaults, you can look to use multi-signature wallets like Gnosis Safe. It's GNOSIS.
Those are so complicated, dude. I've like considered doing multi-sig wallets, but it's just like such a pain. Although I guess to your point, it is at least it's because it's a pain in the ass. Actually, probably makes it more secure. Do you use them?
Yeah, exactly. I have used them in the past. I probably want to take my own recommendation here and get back into it. But yeah, like the point is like the more friction there is, the less chance you have of like just getting phished or something, or a bad link or something like that exposing you. So vaults are supposed to be vaults for a reason. Like if you're going to be interacting with something, you should probably move it out of the vault and not connect your vault. But if you're going to be doing anything like that, multi-signature wallets are definitely an avenue for people to explore, especially for projects that like we've seen Discords get hacked, Twitters get hacked. So, you just want to be careful about your funds as much as possible and take your time when you're looking at transactions or URLs.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, what he said at the end, because like even a multi-sig is not going to stop you from signing a bad link. It's just going to make you have to sign into 3 different wallets to approve signing a bad link. That's where almost everybody gets hit. That's what happened to Kevin. Like 99% of people that get hacked, it's just clicking bad links.
Well, and the other thing that happens, which I think is where most people in crypto Twitter, where they essentially the people that are being toxic with their messages about it reside, is that they just haven't made that mistake yet. That's the only distinction.
They're also toxic because they don't click on bad links because they don't have any NFT assets that people want to hack them for.
Well, so and no one emails them because they're not loved. That's why they're so toxic as well. So that's also another situation that they have to deal with, is the lack of love in their life. But the thing that I was going to say is, in addition to the people who clearly need therapy, was that I think in general, what people under account for is the fact that we're all dumb. Like just inevitably at some point, you're going to make a mistake. Like, and it's a human error. Like to I think there is a saying to err is human. And I think that is the real issue. And it's when you end up feeling ashamed after you get robbed or scammed, because you're like, oh, I was dumb. But where I've always had the scams happen, twice now I've fallen for this, is basically I'm like on another call, or I'm in some other thing, and I'm in the middle of something else, and this what feels like a key opportunity. And what happened 2 years ago in the NFT space was we were kind of trained to jump on that opportunity the moment that it happened.
So fast. Like it only in NFTs, if you're like 5 minutes.
You're cutting out. Kix is cut out, but you there?
Yeah,
no,
my name's Jeff.
Come back. We miss you, Kix.
Hi.
It sounds like he's doing this on purpose to troll you. So
no, now he's back.
Absolute garbage internet. Those squirrels must be chewing into the cords. No, like Nick, what I was saying is like only in NFTs does like not making an action within like 5 minutes like potentially cost you like generational wealth. You know what I mean? Like literally, I remember with the Mutant Ape Yacht Club mint, I was about to take a bath and I like ran in my underwear through my house downstairs, like fast, full speed. I should have rolled my ankle just to get there in time to be able to like mint 6, you know, like in the stock market, it's like oh, if I don't get to my computer today, maybe this stock goes up 2%. You know, in NFTs, you're 5 minutes late to something and it 10x's on you.
It's spot on. I will say though, in traditional investing circles, there's the saying time kills deals, but there's also a similar thing in investors. FTX was able to raise funding. One of the models they were using is like, you have to make a decision by like Friday, essentially. So figure out whether or not you want to invest $100 million. And I guess some of these investors were just like, yeah, I guess we'll have to make the investment right now. He was on the cover of, Time magazine or whatever.
Silicon Valley and then like decided just to like copy that one guy that like, went around and, was like hardballing people to invest.
Dude, it's exactly, it's a similar situation, but that is where the error happens. And I've seen it happen with a lot of other people. It basically, something throws you off, you're involved with something else, and now the vulnerability is there. And that's the main thing, is that like, if you had to live life where you were constantly protecting yourself and preventing yourself from being vulnerable, you're going to create a lot of other issues in your life, like just like emotional issues that exist as a result of that. So like, either like you choose to have life. Kix is, I don't know who that was. Mom?
That would be my mother. Yes.
Hello, Mom.
She's very nosy and excited and want to just she wants to be a part of the stream. But
well, we'd love to have her on the show to talk about. Hello. Wow, she was excited to be here.
Very excited. She brought me a tissue and came to say hi. But I was wondering, like, I feel like we're at a real crossroads right here in the crypto and equities markets. And we're coming right up to that Fed meeting, February 1st, right? Is that early next week?
When they're going to be announcing interest rates?
Yeah. So everything's coming up to like the perfect inflection point. Like a lot of stuff has ripped a lot. We're heading into the meeting. Like, so I feel like we're either at like, I don't think we're going to have death and destruction, but we're either going to have like a pull off or we're just going to go like absurdly up based on what happens next week.
So let's talk about this right now. Well, for context, yesterday on the show, Pio and I both bought more ETH, I believe. I bought more ETH. Pio bought more ETH. I'm up right now on both of those trades. I think I bought some maybe after the show. I don't know what the timing was. Pio at least bought some. I now have more. And it's the technicals are looking pretty damn strong. Bitcoin even stronger to a degree where you're just like, yo, this has to correct some, right? Like that's like what we're looking at. Bitcoin is the strongest, I would say, out of a lot of these at the moment. I see a couple other tokens that are doing decently, but in general, Bitcoin has just had an absolute tear. We're around 23,000. I'm wondering, so what's the positioning that people are having going into, like you were saying, the Fed meeting Kicks, and more importantly, what was I think your target was 1,800. Mine's at around 1,800 at this moment on ETH. Where are you at? What's your trade? And I'm curious to hear what other people, how they're positioning.
Yeah, I was very happy. I would have been very happy to get like my ideal exit opportunity, which was ETH hitting 1,800 and Dogecoin going up 50% in a day. I was hoping the markets was going to make it that easy for me, but it didn't. I sold off a lot of my alt bags and just held on to ETH. And I just feel like comfortable with that. I definitely missed like 20% more upside on the alts, but with ETH, I just, I feel like it's a lot more just, safer and stable. And I bought in at 1250 on these things. So like, if we have a bad Fed meeting, we go back to, 1200, I'm still at my average cost. Like, I feel like that's a pretty strong floor under there. But it is like when you see these moves, like, Aptos going up 6x, I don't know if you all know Rollbit, right? But it's like that NFT thing and that like casino and stuff like that. It has a token that's gone up like 10x in 30 days or some absurd amount. So it kind of sucks. Like I'm getting the FOMO on missing these like big bags, but that makes me think like, okay, maybe maybe we're getting a little hot here. Cause I mean, Aptos went from like a market cap of like 500 million to like $3 billion in like 14 days. So I'm just holding on to the ETH. What I'm really curious about is I feel like the NFT market has been considerably very strong despite lots of altcoins and like shit coins like absolutely pumping. Because a lot of times when people have those easy money opportunities elsewhere, they're not necessarily trading NFTs, but like the NFT volume has continued to be super strong, even with a lot of bullishness in crypto. So I think that's a really good sign for the NFT side. But on the crypto side, I think I'm just going to hold my ETH bags. Think about the next 2 days if I want to add anything there. But I think the NFT market's looking really strong. So I want to continue to look for some new opportunities there. I'm due for a good trade.
So, well, so am I, man. I've been missing out on trades left and right. We got Signal printing bags. We got Easy printing bags. We got a lot of people here who've been making some smart trades. Ben made some money on the Dookie Dash trades. There's a variety of smart traders here. I haven't done as well, although I've made some money on ETH, but like a couple grand. Like it's not like life-changing sums like I used to make every week.
But if you roll that, making a couple grand for a lot of people is really, that's a good day. You know what I mean? I feel like for me, I just want to hit like
privilege.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to hit just an easy $10,000 a month. I don't think that's too much to ask for. That's actually humble compared to the bull run, but I just want to make like a solid, 10K a month. Easy already got half of that with his Neebs trade.
And we still hold the one, baby.
10K per month would be really nice, but I don't even have that expectation. I'd just like to make, maybe this year an extra, 25, 50 grand or something like that. That would be bonus, that would just be bonus money. Help me cover my my apartment would be the key thing here. And I mean, I guess I could always sell my punk if I really wanted, but that ain't
Have you
happening.
been staking any ape?
No, I haven't been doing that, Ben. I haven't been doing any of the smart trades, but really appreciate you calling me out for that one. So no. And had you staked ape,
Nick, have you not been Bendow staking your ape? Like you don't even need ape.
no. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna quadruple leverage my my existence.
No, it's not. It's not.
No,
leverage.
you pair it.
You pair it. You use somebody else's ape coin to stake against your ape, and then you get a percentage of their ape coin yield. So you have no like principal risk on ape.
What?
So it's literally just free money.
Yeah, it's like Bumble, but for NFTs and crypto.
Wait, how does Bumble even compare? I don't understand.
I don't
it's
get
a
that
great
comparison.
It
either.
makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of exactly. Dude, all I know is that my Compass app has been broken in this market, and that's been a situation. I'm getting my hair cut after this, and I'm hoping I can navigate over to the barbershop effectively, given the fact that it's clear that the Compass hasn't been working. Signal, you got your hand raised. You had a nice little gain yesterday by sweeping the floor or buying a full collection of whatever that project is that I didn't participate in.
Yeah, so basically I bought a full set of Proceed with Caution, not yesterday, but the day before. And then I bought like the last 2 tokens yesterday for the full set. And then overnight, it literally just like 3x'd. And then like I pieced out. I was like, I take the win. And then I've now put that into a sewer pass. It's not where I wanted to buy, but like, my strategy here is like, okay, yes, we're all paying like Dookie Dash, and I am so excited to play Dookie Dash, by the way.
Wait, did you buy your Dookie Dash pass?
Yeah, I got it, right? So I got my Dookie Dash, but like at the back of my head, I'm like, this is just a mint pass, right? There's obviously other levels to this in terms of like, there's so much more coming. But like when you see that Yuga Land, like other deed is sitting at 100,000 and still above 1 ETH. You look at across the collection. I just don't think there's a world in which I do not break even or get profit by holding a tier 1 pass and like buying in at 2.7. So that's my theory here. So I'm going to play Dookie Dash. I'm not going to try and get like mega high scores. Just going to play mint in February and then like let's see what comes out of this. But yeah, I'm excited.
Signal just with the classic 3x free roll into a Yuga Lab asset. Love to see it.
Dude, like your tweet, Kix put out a really good tweet, like probably like 4 weeks ago, and he was like, basically stick to your trading strategy, stick to it because that's what's going to make you like the money. And I've just realized that my style is less but with higher conviction, and then when I make those trades I do well. But once I start degenning into like, are you in this like Japanese NFT thing, are you in this and you in that, that's when I lose money.
Over trading kills you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Over trading kills you. So I've stopped doing that stuff. I'm about high conviction precision, like sniper.
Surgical.
Hey, please don't try to
Surgical.
convince Nick
Extracts
to
and
buy
leave
in.
profits.
Well, look, okay. We don't need more hate around these. I already got attacked by people. The crypto trolls talking about how MetaMask is not at fault for people's stupidity. In terms of in all seriousness though, I've been missing all these trades, and at this point, I just feel like if I buy into any of this stuff, I'm just gonna get wrecked. So it's a difficult figuring out the right move is challenging here. I will say, if you were listening to literally any of the picks over the past few weeks of people on this show, you've made gains. Signal made gains. Easy's had a couple of ones. The best one being the ApeCoin call. I don't know that you actually made the trade, though. Did you, Easy?
No, but my speculation was just it was going to cruise with all the spend.
Trades actually make more money if Easy calls them and doesn't buy in.
Yeah, they work out every
actually
single
works
time.
more.
If I
Yeah.
buy in, it caps it. But when I talk about it and don't buy it, they just fucking piss missile.
Well, the technicals on Ape were real strong ever since January 7th. If you had bought in at 4, we broke above what was effectively this falling wedge sort of situation. There was resistance. And if you bought in there, you're up 50% at this point in time. Pretty much most of the trades at this point, you're up 50%. ETH at 1,600. Bitcoin at, where are we at? 23,000. Kaleo seems to believe that we're headed straight to 30,000 is his sort of belief. Kaleo, don't tease him with the bull market. That guy he is a raging bull, ready to go at any point in time. The moment that crypto prices start going up, let him out the gates. You're not catching up to him. He's making trades left and right, ready to buy into your favorite shitcoin and double your money. I'm going to be honest. You brought up Doge there, Kix, and the technicals on that one look pretty strong. Like that's a nice looking token right now. It has
literally every single pump that we've had over the past year has been capped to the day by a Dogecoin gigapump.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So like in August when ETH made that big run up to like almost to like pretty much ping 2K, like Dogecoin did like a 50% move, like literally the Pico top. Yeah, and it's done it at least one other time. So that's why I was hoping like Dogecoin rip 50% for me so I know to get out of the markets, but it hasn't done that yet.
Well, technically it is up approximately right now almost 50%. It's up like 40% from January 1st, though. So actually, if you'd bought Bitcoin, you would have outperformed. I don't know if Bitcoin, but at least ETH, you would have potentially outperformed or come close. So it's actually correlating at this point. So are you suggesting that we should just ape into Dogecoin and wait for that 50% gain, take our profits, walk away, and there goes my earnings for the year that I was targeting? Maybe all of us can just go on vacation.
Yeah, I've considered that every day this week so far. So maybe today I'll just like throw in, at least if you have it in your portfolio, you get that like signal, like when you get the ping on your phone, it's like Dogecoin's up 50% today. You're like, okay, maybe I sell some things.
Well, then maybe that's what we should look into. Other remaining items or other stories that we did not discuss today. The Nifty Gateway situation. This is a weird one for me. There was a conversation the other day. Maybe someone on stage knows what the situation is with Nifty Gateway. But I'd seen someone talking about like the bridge not working or something like that with Nifty Gateway, and that a lot of people were concerned that like the assets, wouldn't persist, that the IPFS stuff, whatever it was pointing to, would potentially disappear. And one of the Koch Foster brothers jumped in to say, well, we're working on that right now. and we're going to resolve that issue. And then promptly within like a week or two, we're like stepping down. So I don't know, like, I don't think that these are two separate issues, but it is interesting timing, especially all the Gemini stuff. And I wonder, like, is that like, what is the perception of the market on this? Do we think that Nifty Gateway is basically just dead?
I think, yeah, Signal, you go ahead first.
I read an article that they basically gave an interview, and they said that they had resigned actually quite a while ago, and this has been in the works. And they also said that essentially they're entrepreneurs. They want to be building companies, not managing huge companies. Obviously, they sold to Gemini. They don't want to be managing large divisions. So what they want to do is go start a new company. They don't know apparently what that company is, but the ring, like in the article, they said, you know, they strongly back the Winklevoss twins. They would also back them in their new company. So it sounds like at least what they're saying to the public, that A, this has been there a very long time, and B, they don't want to be employees, they want to be founders, and they want to do startups again.
Which I can understand. I mean, as someone who's been just a lifetime entrepreneur and hated working for anybody, shout out to my future employer. It's always been a challenging thing to deal with employers. So I'm not surprised. I had a meeting with someone the other day who was talking about how they, you know, are trying to see their path out. But it's also interesting when you speak with a lot of unsuccessful founders, as I'd call it, people aspiring entrepreneurs. They always say, I want to go and build something, but either I don't know what, or I'm not willing to quit my job. So it's pretty clear. Follow the path of the entrepreneurs. Get the hell out of that job that you hate, and you know, go make something of your life.
And I feel like one thing to like put in perspective, I'm pretty sure that they got acquired in 2019. I'm not sure when they started building it, but I mean, that's a long time ago, especially when you think about the NFT landscape. I mean, they were definitely super, super, super early to this whole wave. So I can totally see them having like a strong desire and probably having lots of ideas of like cool new things that they could build in the space. So I mean, if I could get in their seed round, you know, I would definitely probably take a bet on them. I mean, it's pretty impressive that it's not like they were just like in 2019 tweeting like NFTs are the future. No, they like literally built like a, you know, an artist marketplace that got a lot of people into the space. So bullish on them.
Yeah, and so alongside that, they probably had some sort of like earnout or something, would be my guess, because I don't think the acquisition was even for that much at that point in time, because the NFT bull run that we've seen didn't exist yet. So it wasn't until late, I guess 2020 was when we started really seeing the bull run, and that started with Nifty Gateway. You and Pio Kicks both sort of like cut your teeth there, and in the NFT space. And that's where a lot of the NFT trading started. A lot of the Nifty Gateway people were then late to the ETH trade as a result of that. Spencer, you got your hand raised. What's going on?
Oh yeah, this is something that like I've always said, and people call me crazy for, is like I'm actually really excited by NFT artists who create things on their own contract or like on a manifold contract that's at least on their own website. I have like a personal rule that I really don't like buying like NFT art that is part of like a platform that has platform risk. So I think this way about like Super Rare, Nifty Gateway, even art blocks to some extent. And I know people are gonna like really not like when I say that, but that's why like my big art play was ABN to QQL. I just have always felt like anytime that there's platform risk in NFTs in any context, like you just see bad stuff happen. And it's just a shame to me. Like I think the outcome of this that's most like unfortunate is this is a big lose for all the artists whose art were on that platform. Because now, you know, maybe the value of your one of ones goes down because you released a one of one on Nifty Gateway, and Nifty Gateway is shitting the bed, and to no fault of your own, you have this one, like, what do you do with that piece? Like, how do you move forward? And so, like, I think there's a huge, like, feeling for a lot of NFT artists in the space that they need to enter the space by participating in some sort of bigger platforms and give them this voice. I just don't think that's the way. Like, I think that a lot of artists, like, now you can do collaborations, you can work with any other people's ecosystems, If you're just releasing art for art's sake, that's like your Genesis piece. Like I would really, really, really push back on the idea of doing it on any platform. Just do it on your own contract.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going that way. We're seeing right now the meme season is happening on Manifold. That's where a lot of the action is taking place, and I think Manifold is sort of becoming the tool of choice for a lot of people, especially artists. And I think you're spot on. I think also to your point though, it's kind of like when you first got into NFTs, you didn't know any better. And I think for a lot of the people that were deciding to place their art, look, let's be honest, like for any of the names that we're familiar with that succeeded on Nifty Gateway, a lot of those artists made life-changing amounts of money. So whether or not the piece survives, indefinitely or not, they ended up making a decent amount of cash. Now, obviously, as a collector who ended up owning that asset, you now have sort of like what you may end up with is more of a reputational liability caused by the platform itself is kind of what you're getting at, which is like if I have a collector that bought my piece of art and now they're saying, hey, I don't have the art anymore because the platform you sold it to me doesn't work anymore, then I feel, at least personally, some sort of like obligation to that collector. And so maybe I now have to replace them with something else, and it becomes work that I have to do. So it is a liability from that standpoint. That said, I remember a lot of vocal collectors. I include Sergito, I include King of Midtown, and some of these other people who would basically be like, yo, what are these artists doing? Basically, like essentially, why aren't they like, where's my value? And I think what was happening is a lot of people, they were sort of forcing on artists to say, hey, your job now is to like help my bags go up. Now, I think there's a little bit of confusion between those two separate parties, and you can debate for a long time. And this is not the point to discuss artist reputations with collectors. But I think it was a state and time. But for some of the larger artists who really built a reputation on Nifty Gateway and continue today to kind of have for which Nifty Gateway catapulted them essentially, they probably have more reputational risk than the average artist who was on Nifty Gateway. Node, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, everyone needs to check out. Here's a shameless shill for Node Mode. Was a couple weeks ago, I did an interview with Art Gnome, and it was an amazing, like incredible interview. This guy is if you don't know who Art Gnome is, he's just next level. He bought X copies. Like he claims that he's paper handed like over 25 million because he was so early to the space. He was literally giving out autoglyphs back in the day, like giving out lost Robbies. And he bought X copies first NFT for $1, and that NFT ended up getting lost and disappeared because the platform went defunct, and then like everything broke. And so Art Gnome actually has a service that like essentially backs up the IPFS link to your image. And so he walks through a lot of like really good info on like, hey, like what is it that you own? Do you know like if your image is has like redundancy on IPFS so that there's a link there? And just like in terms of the nuances between platforms, like yeah, like even with Nifty Gateway, sometimes like you got to make sure that you even have the asset in your own wallet, right? So like you've got a bunch of extra risk there. I will say the art blocks, like since all the contracts are like on chain, I feel a whole lot safer there. Like the only concern I have that I would have with art blocks would just be the reputational risk, which quite frankly, I'm happy to like triple down on that reputation. But just wanted to give a shout out because like that interview is like, it was pretty eye opening in terms of like, where are the files stored? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was actually early on in the NFT space. I remember one of the conversations that I saw on a regular basis. There was also conversations about on-chain art versus off-chain art. Is IPFS the right place to do it? A lot of those conversations have really fallen by the wayside, and it's not like a key conversation at this moment in time. But inevitably, those issues are something that will pop up as as platforms begin to shut down, maybe years from now. As some of this infrastructure begins to change, people forget what they're managing. And there's also there's one other thing I'll add is Pinata, which is what we use for our NFT. They take the thesis of basically you shouldn't persist it to IPFS and then just like let it be. You should have control over what that is. And essentially there should be a steward or someone who's assigned essentially to manage and control those digital assets essentially. So it's not actually just fully decentralized. The downside is what you would argue is that, well, now you can change what that points to. But conversely, the art world is used to storing the majority of art in like secure vaults around the world. And I think that this correlates heavily with that. Regardless what your position is, we ran out of time. This has been the show for today. The thing that I was going to say, one additional thing is shout out to our sponsor, SoRare. If you are not trying to destroy PO at a SoRare game, what are you doing with your life? You know, are you just replying to my tweets and telling me that everyone's an idiot for getting hacked? Maybe. If you're not in that category, you can either be there or you can be on SoRare. And the way to get there is to go to the nifty.com/SoRare. Check it out. Get a free NFT every single day. We like that sort of approach. That's becoming ubiquitous. Wink, wink. And you're going to want to check that out. Also, if you're not on the list, get on the list. The nifty.com, get on the list. The other thing I was going to do is, hey, there's a couple of people that gave a response in the comments today, and I want to shout those people out. I'm picking someone random right now. I see, I'm just scrolling through. Shout out to Pedro, who's retrofit, RETR0fit, who said the 3 apps that they'd keep on the phone is Twitter, YouTube, and eBay. Pedro, you just won yourself a portal. So congratulations. Thanks for participating in the community. We really appreciate it. And shout out to our sponsors again. As usual, if you are not subscribed and you're watching online, remember to like and subscribe. And if you're on Twitter, give us a follow. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back for our regular episode. Have a great day.